me a second so I can let everyone know that we are live.
Mhm. Yeah, so wow. See here. What a catastrophe.
Yeah.
We got anybody here? We don't have anybody here yet.
Well, no one knows about this stream, so I have to let them know. So I'm saying, like, give me 2 seconds. All right, I've linked the other live stream to this one, so people can migrate over, and I'm posting it in various social media channels so that people will see that too. I guess whenever Pat, who is not here, of course, because he is traveling to Japan, whenever he gets back and decides to edit this for the podcast, can edit all this out.
Yeah. Well,
So tell
now
everybody what
my
happened
PC
with your
is
computer,
restarting.
Dave.
Now it says my PC is restarting, Dan. Oh my god.
Oh, is your PC working now?
Oh well, it says it's restarting.
Oh,
Whatever.
okay.
But
See,
like
it just needed
seriously.
time.
Yeah. Hey, Analog Black Sheep, what's up? Who else is here? I really can't see. Say hi so I can see because this is like a totally different
Like UI.
like it's a totally different UI. I don't really see who's there unless you guys say hi. So we got Scott Moe, we got Martin Evans, we got Chad Clark. Yeah, so I have a laptop. It is a gaming laptop. I mean, it Windows 4. Well, okay, so here's the story. Dan and I got here on time. We were all good to go. I got all the apps open. We were ready to go live, and my computer started like freezing a little bit. And then I was like, okay, it's unfreezing, but then it's freezing again. I'm like, okay, maybe I should restart. So I restart, and then at that point, that Windows says, now is the time that I'm going to force you to run updates, right? And it's not something that it would let me like put off because I'd already put it off so long. So forced Windows updates, and then my computer like stalled during the updates, and I tried to restart several times, and I was like, it was basically corrupted. So that's fun. So then Dan and I try to like, you know, flip the script and go with this like YouTube live on a I don't know, on my phone. And apparently that won't work, you know, because like every time I try to go live with Dan, it just says, it just gives me a black screen. The phone just gives me a black screen, and the YouTube app doesn't like me. So I had to like uninstall YouTube completely from my phone, reinstall it, and now here we are, and it works. So we've got 41 people watching. So thanks to everybody who is with us here.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for being patient.
We're doing the best we can. Yeah, let me just see here. We have Scotty Moe, Martin Evans. We got Chad Clark. I said Analog Black Sheep is here. Pudgy is here, of course. Mega Man Marchek is here. Firehair. It's Firehair 12,000 now. Yeah, Windows 11 updates are a gamble. And you know, Dan and I were joking like we just need to go Linux. But you know. Okay, so let's see here. We got Gigi. Gigi's here. Captain Hawden, Firehair. Gigi, just so you know, and everybody else who partook in the last community challenge, that I just got your shipping labels to Zayden, so he can ship you guys your stickers or magnets or whatever. And I'm late doing that because like he reached out to me while I was on like a camp out with my daughter, and then like when I got in on Monday, it completely flipped my mind. So here we are now. I finally got it done. So
that's good.
Oh, big apology too. A big apology. We're just like, we just have so many technical difficulties. Big apology to, who was it? Steven up in Canada and Ryan in Ohio, who purchased Shiro magazines, and it didn't send me any notification that purchases had been made. One back in February, and then one in the beginning of March. And here we are, March 20th. And I logged in to get the labels for Zayden, and I was like, oh, holy shit, 2 people bought a magazine and I didn't know about it. The last notification I received was for one purchased in November. So something between November and now took place. I got to talk to Pat when he's back from vacation. We can deal with that. But anyway, your magazines are on their way. I ran them to the post office today, so I sincerely apologize to everybody. Where it was 41 people, and now we're down to 21 or 25. Sorry, I'm rambling, but yeah, I just felt I owed some people some apologies. We've got Raiden Zany's here, and yeah, how do you want to do this, Dan? Since it's very unorthodox, we can't really show the website. I don't think.
No, we can't. But like we can. I mean, you can. Can you look at the website at all, Dave, or not? Do you not have any way?
That's a good question.
Because your laptop is still trying to update itself, right?
Well, it's just still restarting. It's just swirling on restarting.
Okay. I might be the only one who can actually look at the website then, because as you can see with this setup, I've got my laptop here in front of me, as I always do on the show. You just normally can't see it.
Well, yeah, actually, I don't know. Maybe I could. Maybe not.
Lo-fi chill Shiro show. That's right, Analog Black Sheep. That's a good way to put it. Low tech Shiro show. Yeah, I mean,
okay, we're still live. So,
yeah, we are.
Okay, so technically now I think that I can kind of do split screen on this or something. I don't know. I can try. I can peek at this at the show. I can peek at the site. But anyway.
Okay. Sounds good. Well, I guess we can start off with, besides, well, I mean, hey, how is your week this week? We haven't even talked about that. We don't have to go into that too long because we're already so late in the show.
We can't go too long. We can't go too long. I'll make it quick. I went to Book Off and I bought some manga to read. They're very simple. They're called Jijo o Shiranai Tenkosei ga Gui Gui Kuru, which is like transfer student who doesn't know the situation is coming on strong. But they localized it, and you can watch it on Crunchyroll, translated or whatnot. And it's called My New Clueless Friend. It's basically about this girl named Nishimura-san, which is I guess she's kind of like, picked on at school, and they call her Shinigami. They call her the Grim Reaper. And then there's this transfer student who comes, and he's totally clueless, and he's endlessly positive, and it's like, I guess you could say, like, he always comes to the rescue and turns whatever teasing the classmates do into some kind of like misunderstanding or some kind of good thing. And so I don't know, it's kind of like a elementary school romance thing, but it's fun. The good thing is that it's very easy. This is a Squaresoft, actually. It's by Squaresoft. And
they do a lot of manga.
They do a lot of manga, and it's like a beginner. I found it on g10.moe, which is that site that I recommend folks go to if they're looking for, comprehensible content and that you can sort by difficulty. So I got that, and I also got a game called Natsumon, which is like a spiritual successor to the Boku no Natsuyasumi games. It's Switch. It's really fun. So it's kind of like a My Summer Vacation thing, but like with Zelda Breath of the Wild controls, and you're running around and kind of you have like a stamina meter and all that stuff. It's fun, and it's completely spoken in Japanese, so it's good practice. What about you, Dan? What have you got?
I don't have any pickups I can show, but we got our new oven this week. So that was exciting because we actually cook with our oven a lot, and our old oven, just stopped ovening, stopped igniting. The stove top still worked, but the oven inside just would not work anymore. And it was only like a 7-year-old oven, so I don't know. I don't know what happened there, but we have a new one. It's a GE. It's simple. Doesn't have a bunch of crazy features. No Wi-Fi or anything, which was intentional. We wanted one that was just going to be reliable, and so we've been happily making food in it all week, baking things. But he made some muffins and stuff in there, so they were good. Blueberry muffins.
Yeah,
so,
that's awesome. Good. I'm glad you have a muffin. I was going to say a muffin. I'm glad you got muffins and an oven. Who's going to the cinema to watch Akira? I didn't even know that it was playing in the cinema. That's awesome.
Yeah, I heard about that. There's gonna be coming back. Isn't it like one day only or something?
Probably. Usually like a limited thing.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's probably an art theater somewhere around who's doing that then. It's usually like yeah, there's this one theater that does all the anime and stuff like that. That's pretty cool. Um Anybody else commenting? You attended any spring training games? I haven't attended any spring training games. I would like to, but that's probably not going to happen because I'm going to Boston a week from now. I'm going to attend a Padres game in at Fenway, so that'll be fun. Being heckled as a San Diego fan,
Why are you
but you
gonna
know,
be in Fenway for that?
because the Padres are playing at Fenway, and I'm going to Boston
No,
with
just
the
because
family.
you're gonna be in Boston at the same time.
We're going to be in Boston, and so yeah, can't go to Boston without going to Fenway, so it'll be fun.
Okay, fair enough.
Anyway, okay, yeah. So I guess we really should get the lead out and get on with the show.
Yeah, well, we had one community update to mention, and that was about how our community challenge is going this month. So I'll read off what Double Dime said. He said, "We are now in the third week of the Sega Saturn Shiro Virtual Casino March Community Challenge. How You Been won the second weekly challenge, Baccarat, with a cash out total of $30,415, beating out Double Dime by $3,465. The current weekly challenge, Roulette, is being dominated by Rink Rat with a total uncontested cash out of $12,300. Participants have until Sunday night Pacific time to spin to win the title of Wheel King before the next and final weekly challenge in 7 card stud takes us to the end of the month. If you or a loved one are struggling, free confidential help is available 24/7 by calling 1-800 Shiro. Don't call that number. We don't actually control that number. That's just a
Yeah, no,
joke."
God knows where that goes.
Yeah.
But
But I also wanted to say congratulations to How You Been because he was the first one to actually finish story mode in Virtual Casino and post a little video. I put that up on our Shiro's social media channels this morning to let everybody know about that. He did that last night. And then I believe Gregory Rasputin followed him in that today. I think earlier today he beat story mode. So congrats to them. I guess it's very luck based. You just, I mean, it's a casino, but still, like, there's not even much you can do because you just have to like get $100,000 and you're sitting there on slots, just like praying that the RNG gods are kind to you.
yeah,
It eventually works. I think they're like bonuses or something that like you can get at certain points when you're playing it too. So you just kind of have to hope that it gives you those to successfully win.
so
So
weird.
Greg got through slots, which is the hard part. Double Dime said. Oh, nice. Gigi said, been out of town a lot this month, but this weekend I'll jump into virtual casino for the challenge. Yeah, it's good. It'll be another person to hop in. I still have not, and I've been meaning to.
Mhm.
I've got it on my SD card, I believe. I just gotta actually make some time and boot it up. Anyway, we can move on to the news if you'd like, Dave. We can't show everybody, so we can just kind of, I guess, briefly mention what's going on and talk about it a little bit, huh?
Sure.
Okay.
I think I turned on green screen and I didn't mean to, but now I can't turn it off. So oh well.
To
I don't know. I have no idea how this stuff works. I've never done this before. All right. So yeah, do you want to start off with the news?
Yeah, so the one thing we didn't get to in last week's show was the Saturn News Roundup, where we had three little stories to talk about. The first one is that there was an interview that Automaton Media, a Japanese gaming website, did with a pair of executives from the Yakuza studio, Ryuga Gotoku studio. And in that interview, the technical director of Yakuza Studio and the producer and director of the recently released Yakuza Kiwami 3 answered questions about the emulated Game Gear games that they put into Kiwami 3. And the interviewer did not miss the opportunity to ask them about whether we'd ever get emulated Saturn games in a Yakuza game. And they said no. They said no. The Saturn is so complex to emulate that it might be faster to make direct ports of the games using the source code that they have for whatever game they happen to have source code for. And they also said this was weird. There aren't many arcade games compatible with the Saturn. So in other words, like the STV Titan games. So it would be difficult to place them in game centers within Yakuza's cities. But it's like, I mean, there was a master system in the apartment of the Judgment games. Like they could just put a Saturn in Kiryu's house or something, or whatever the protagonist is, and let him play Saturn games. So I don't know why that was a problem. I even kind of felt like dispelling the whole like, oh, there aren't that many STV Titan games. So I went through. There are 79 STV Titan games. To be fair, Sega doesn't have the rights to all of them. Some of them are not really games. They're like, print club, games or whatever. Some might have licensing issues. But even with all that, there's still like 16 different games they could do. Like, why can't we get a little groove on fight going on in a Yakuza game arcade or Winter Heat or Decathlete, Virtual Fighter Kids. Let's go. Dave, you still there?
Yeah,
Dave?
I'm still here. You
Okay.
can't hear me?
Now I can.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
Okay. Well, anyway, what are your thoughts on that?
There we go. I just got the green screen thing working.
Okay.
Sorry, I was letting you do the read, and I was trying to get the green screen thing working.
That's okay. Did you hear what I said, Dave?
You kind of were kind of cutting out a lot.
Oh, really? Did everybody in chat hear me? Hopefully they did. Well, anyway, I was just saying how they were making excuses for why Saturn games wouldn't be in Yakuza games, and I
Right.
thought that it was BS. Okay, everybody heard me just fine.
Yeah.
All right, stop messing with
I
your
mean,
screen, Dave.
if they can put
Head in
it
the
in, if
game.
they can put a Saturn in Shenmue, then they can definitely put.
Yeah, exactly. Well, no, I was saying like they had a Master System game in there because they're like, oh well, there are only so many Saturn arcade games, so there wouldn't be many options for putting them into the game centers in the different cities in Yakuza. It's like, okay, well, even then, there's like at least 16 STV Titan games that they could put in. They only
Yeah,
need a couple, to put it. They only need four. Like, give us some Decathlete or some Virtual Fighter Kids or something.
totally. Yeah, agree. Plus, I mean, it was the most popular system in Japan, so I can't really think of a good reason why they wouldn't.
Yeah, really. Okay, so moving on. Next story, in a small story within the roundup, was that there is a French translation underway for Guardian Heroes, which is cool because Guardian Heroes is a good game. And apparently, even though it came out in Europe back in the day, there was just no French included. I think it was just in English. So, someone named Marcus95 posted on the French gaming forum Delta Island that they have done a few small tests inserting French script in there, and they are positive. So he said, I will continue to translate this game, and I will make the translation available once finished or well advanced. And he posted a few screenshots, and unfortunately, we can't show you here, so you'll have to just trust me, bro, or
Yeah,
go to SegaSaturnShiro.com and scroll back and check out the story. I posted it on March 12th. So
yeah,
yeah, I mean, it's looking good. I wish him well on getting that done. There's quite a bit of text in Guardian Heroes.
yeah. Quite a bit of text, and I mean, but that's great. There's a huge scene of French Saturn fans.
Mm-hmm.
Just as there are a huge scene of Portuguese Saturn fans. So makes sense that they would want their own translations, and I'm sure it'll end up on the Shiro site under our non-English translations. So
Yeah.
that's great. Yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
It's
All right. Hmm?
I don't have much else to add other than it's a great game, whether regardless of the language you play it in, and I think it's pretty easy to just play it without even with skipping the story too. But
Sure.
it'll add enjoyment.
But everybody
So,
wants to know what the story is, and enjoy it in their own
right,
language. So,
of course.
So my last story in the roundup was that a fan made and this one's kind of off the wall, but I thought it was kind of neat. Somebody who is a cross stitch fan and also apparently a Saturn fan made a Saturn cross stitch design, and
Yeah.
they made it available for free on their Ko-fi page or for a donation if you're feeling so generous. The person's name is Gig Lamps. And what's funny is, it's only been a week since I posted this story, 8 days, and their Blue Sky account is now completely gone. They deleted their Blue Sky account.
Wow.
I don't know what's up with that, but they still have their Ko-fi page up, so you can still get the cross stitch pattern for the Saturn. It's a cute little design, has some like energy swirls behind it and some stars and stuff. Ko-fi page, I mean, kind of hard to like say because the link is I can put it in chat, but it's like a bunch of just letters and numbers. But if you just search for gig lamps, like GIG lamps on
Hmm.
Ko-fi, or coffee, however you want to pronounce it, then you'll be able to find it. But there's a link in chat if you want to
Hmm.
check that out. If you're a big cross stitch fan or you have someone in your life who is.
Cool.
So yeah, pretty neat. Anyway, so we can move on to the stuff that's new this week, and that starts with Emerald Nova wrote a story this week about Frog Bowl, our good old buddy Frog Bowl. Do you have that up, Dave, or do you need me to talk about that one too?
Well, the thing is, if I do split screen, it seems like you can't hear me because that's what happened
Oh,
before. You Dave here,
okay.
and I can hear you fine, I can see you fine, but apparently you can't hear me. So,
Yeah, that's a problem.
yeah, probably better if I don't.
All right. Well, that's fine. I will just
I will be color commentary. Dan, you're
yeah.
running this whole thing, and I'm just going to be color commentary.
Maybe I
I will
should have
try
been
and
the
say
one to start the stream too. My
it.
phone might have behaved. Okay, yeah, you do color commentary for me, Dave. That's fine.
There you go.
We're figuring it out. So yeah, Emerald Nova wrote up a story about how Frog Bowl has been working on a demo that he actually just released to his GitHub recently, and it is about uh, doing homebrew sequenced music playback for the Saturn. Now, of course, homebrew has for a long time been able to use Redbook audio for
Mm,
music in homebrew games because that's pretty easy to do. You just kind of include a WAV file or an MP3 or whatever with your project, and something like Pone Sound enables you to just kind of call on that. Pony Sound also enables some uncompressed sound effects to
mm,
happen. But like as far as actually using the Yamaha sound chip that's inside the Saturn to do sequenced, synthesizer music, that's been kind of beyond everyone's ability
mm,
until now, thanks to Frogbowl. He has been using the Saturn Ring Library, which is our newest, homebrew SDK for the Saturn, to kind of figure out how to make this work. Now, it's Emerald Nova gets really into the weeds in this, which is very interesting to read. At least I thought it was. Maybe, hopefully, everyone else will think that too. So definitely check out his whole story on SegaSaturnShiro.com. But I mean, basically, there are like three different file types that make up sequence music on the Saturn, and this is not just with Frogville's implementation, but I think it's with pretty much any game or most of the games that did this on the Saturn originally. There's like a .ton file, which is tone, which is basically like the instrument patches that are going to be used, the actual like the sound of the instruments. And then you've got the SEQ files, which is the sequence file itself. It's kind of like the composition of the music. It says, okay, which tones are being used and in this order. And then the third file type is the map file, which contains a description or summary of memory locations for the various instruments and songs loaded into sound ramps. That's more of like a technical uh, back end file, but it's still necessary to get all this working. So, if they can kind of get this really going, and I don't think this is really quite ready for prime time yet for homebrew developers, but if they can get this rolling, then, we wouldn't need like old software on 90s Macintoshes anymore to get this stuff working. That would be
right.
great.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I think that would be great. It sounds a lot like homebrew cyber sound, whatever.
Yeah.
Awesome to have awesome to have a sound library and MIDI playback capability for homebrew stuff. So that'll be great.
Hmm. Yeah, we had a quote from Frogville. He said, "My ultimate goal is to have a complete open source toolkit to handle all the stuff easily and not worry about it in the future." So that's what he is working toward. He said, "Once all the main bricks are ready to use, it'll be very easy to use." Frogville's French, so sometimes his wording's a little strange in English, but we appreciate it
Right.
all the same. Um, so yeah, he's still kind of working on it, but Emerald Nova will keep an eye on it. He is, of course, makes a lot of his own homebrew stuff like Cinderyu, so he's very interested in being able to use this stuff.
Right.
Okay, so next up we've got an Under the Microscope from Bo Bales, and it is in Thunder Force 5. This is very popular this week
Oh yeah.
on the website and on social media and stuff. People are very interested in this. So this week, Bo found a cheat code that has never been published before in Thunder Force 5. Normally, the game lets you start on course 1, 2, or 3, but this cheat code lets you choose any of the 7 courses. To activate the code, enter the sequence at the title screen LRZBYCX start. You've got to go fast with this, he said. You're only allowed 15 frames between button presses. That's a quarter of a second between each button press. So you might want to practice it a little bit before you really start typing it in. I don't know. If you take too long or press a wrong button, you'll have to start over by pressing start and then B, he said. You'll hear a sound effect if you entered the code correctly. Choose game start to get to the course select screen. And it'll just show like the usual stage 1, 2, or 3. So you just kind of choose. He says choose that usual 1, 2, 3 stage progression before answering yes to OK.
Right.
Um, use the following button combinations along with start to activate a different starting course. For stage 4, you would hold Y and Z and press start. For stage 5, you just hold X. Stage 6, you'd hold X and Z. Stage 7, you hold X and Y. So yeah, that's really neat. And then he shows the different screenshots in his article on our website, or of course, you can also check his blog on Substack, 32
Okay.
bits. So you'll also be given weapons that are appropriate for the course you choose. So that's cool. Does it sound like a useful cheat code to you, Dave?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, and it's a popular game, so I'm
Mm-hmm.
not surprised. That people are more excited about this than like High Octane or whatever. Um, but yeah, no, that's great. Thanks, Bo, for bringing us more cool cheats and showing us how you do it.
Yeah,
Definitely go.
he gets into that too, and
Yeah.
his story just says he always does. He gets into the code he looked at and how he figured it out. So that's always cool to see too.
Yeah, go check out his Substack and support him if you can.
Mm-hmm. Okay, next story up, we've got Humble Bazooka revives 3D controller Bluetooth adapter project. This one was pretty popular too with people.
That one was crazy.
Yeah, people are really looking forward to it. So Humble Bazooka, you were the last person to. Well, no, I think it was Emerald. It was Pandemonium who last wrote about this, but you've written about this too, Dave. That Humble Bazooka has been working on this for a good couple of years to make a Bluetooth adapter with a battery that will slot into the back of the Saturn's 3D controller. In place of the cord that.
Originally, it was the Jinko guy.
Yes.
Originally, it was him. It was a couple different people working on it together, and then I think most recently it was Humble Bazooka, who wanted
Right.
to like take it and make it like something for prime time. But yeah, for a long time it was
Gaming and Jinkos.
Jinko. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess Gaming and this is kind of based on Gaming and Jinko's work.
Right.
Gaming and Jinko's like went to Dave of Humble Bazooka and showed him what he had been doing, and so Humble Bazooka just kind of like took that and ran with it.
Right.
But I guess in 2025, things really got derailed for him. Like supposedly in October 2024, which is the last time that Shiro wrote about it, Pandemonium wrote that story. Um, Dave said that his design was 90 to 95% finished. Well, all that was left was basically fine tuning, testing, and manufacturing. And he
Hmm.
thought he might have it done and like going to manufacturers by the end of quarter one 2025. Well, I guess life got in the way. Also, tariffs got in the way because he does more than just this. He has a store where he sells lots of different adapters for various consoles. And so when those tariffs started popping up in the early spring of 2025, he had to figure out what he was going to do to get parts and keep his prices as low as he could. So, none of that was helpful to continuing some of the developing new
Right.
products like the BLE Shift, as he calls it. BLE Shift 3D is what he calls his Saturn 3D Bluetooth adapter. So, all that stuff got in the way, and he pretty much had to put this on hold for a whole year. And he is finally, according to a blog post that he made a couple of weeks ago, getting back in the saddle and working on this again. So I guess the next thing that he is really thinking about is whether he wants to do a 3D printed case for this thing or an injection molded case. I guess the pros and cons of that is that 3D printing works well enough and he can make small batches of it quickly, but an injection mold would look more professional and have a more professional feel, but it's going to push things back by a little bit, 3 to 4 months. He told me, based on complexity.
It's it's worth it. At this point, we've been waiting this long, right? I mean,
Yeah, true.
I feel like, because there was another device that was released a couple years ago that was like a USB. It was a dongle that
That was
slotted
also from
in.
Humble Bazooka. Yeah, that like makes any
Uh,
Bluetooth controller usable with the Saturn. Is that what you're talking
so
about?
that's not what I was talking about.
Oh,
Hold on.
okay.
There was
Sorry.
yes, there was one that you could buy. I think that it was someone made it over in Japan, and it was just a
Okay.
dongle that you would pop into the back of the controller that would accept a USB-C, right?
Oh,
So
okay.
it would just turn your 3D control pad into a USB controller, general purpose.
Oh, I
Um,
gotcha.
and so you could use it on emulators, you could use it on computers, you could maybe potentially use it not on the Switch. There are some instances where you could use it. But anyway, so that was kind of a boutique item, and that was 3D printed. The case was 3D printed.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this I think it's like, I mean, what's another 3 months if it's been this long? I
Yeah.
definitely think because he did the dongle that was you know injection molded, and it looks great, and it feels more like a professional item
Yeah, the
than, like,
Saturn
for example, like
BT.
the retro Rosetta, the Bluetooth like Rosetta thing, which was kind of a similar device, but
Hmm.
instead it allowed you to connect like multiple controllers, and that was 3D printed, so it's kind of looks a little DIY, So yeah, if he's looking to sell it, and I mean he has done well selling those things, I think that he
Yeah.
should just wait. And this console is over 30 years old, folks. So we've already been waiting for a lot of this stuff. I don't think people are going to be phased by another 3 months. So
You'd
that's
be surprised because I saw everybody in where he like posted about his new blog on his Blue Sky account because he doesn't really use
okay.
his X account anymore, and
Okay.
everybody under there was saying that they wanted 3D printing. They want this thing
Right?
sooner rather than
It was
later.
like,
So
just give it to us now. Give it
right,
3D print. I would
right,
wait. I would wait, but then again, it's like, I've got such a backlog.
yeah,
So
yeah. I think it'd be
yeah,
nicer if it looked nicer, but like I understand maybe doing like a 3D print now while
yeah,
some better injection molded designs are
yeah,
coming in later. Like why not do
true.
that?
Yeah, why
Let
not?
people give it a shot.
He
So
could do that. He could put it out now 3D printed, and then
mhm.
he could, when he gets the injection molded cases, he could just have that be an extra thing that folks could buy if they want to, like, and that he could
Right.
send to folks to upgrade
New
the one.
option for
Yeah,
$5 more or whatever.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it might be more than $5,
Well, you know what I
shipping and
mean.
everything like that. But yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, so it'd be like, I mean, it'd be like buying a PCB Saru and then later getting a case for it. So
Yeah,
I think that would be worth it. Yeah.
exactly. Scotty Mo said it's definitely my favorite controller. Talking about the 3D pad, I think. Yeah, just don't play Celeste with it. Don't play
Don't
Celeste
play
Classic.
Celeste with the D-pad, yeah,
No,
because it's that mushy D-pad,
it's a little too
which can
mushy.
be nice. Sometimes the D-pad is kind of nice, but
Yeah,
maybe
it's
not for
usually
Celeste.
fine for whatever you're using it with, which is why like I initially was playing because like I had my 3D controller just plugged into my Saturn when I was trying out Celeste last week. So I was like, whatever. I'll just leave it in. It'll be
Right.
fine. And
Yeah.
it's like as I got through that game, the D-pad was not fine enough, and I could not get through the last level without swapping
Yeah.
to a regular pad.
I gotcha.
That's funny. Anyway, so yeah, if anybody does want to give him some feedback, definitely head over to Humble Bazooka's Blue Sky. Just search for Humble Bazooka on Blue Sky and let him know. Like I say, he does have an X account, but he doesn't really use it anymore, so he might not really see your comment there. He does have like a YouTube account under Humble Bazooka as well and Facebook. So whatever you're comfortable interacting with him on, go for it. Let him know what you would like to see.
Mhm.
Okay, so next story we have up is Peter's hashtag Best of Saturn. Continuing this year's series on games that have received fan translations for the Saturn, he talked about Stellar Assault Double S,
Mm.
uh, a game near and dear to my heart, of course, because I helped out a little bit with the fan translation patch. So let's see what Peter had to say. He said Stellar Assault Double S came to the Saturn in 1998, courtesy of Sims Co., being a remake of sorts of the Sega developed 32X game Stellar Assault, or Shadow Squadron in the US. This is a spaceship combat game playable from both in cockpit or behind the ship views and is much more story driven than 32X original. Uh, Editor's note here, the behind the ship view is really just for funsies. You can't like
Yeah.
functionally play the game that way. You don't
Not
have any
really.
UI, you don't know what direction you're shooting at. It's just for fun, like to get some cool cinematic views.
Yeah.
Anyway, Peter continues. It's been a few years since humanity's first contact with a hostile alien race, and humanity stands united against the threat they pose. In game, you are the silent Ensign Rob Birdie of the Joint Space Command, and either as a one player experience or with a second player friend, in which one pilots and the other one mans the weapons, you execute missions against the alien threat. You receive a briefing before each mission and must accomplish all objectives to succeed. There is even a trace mode, which allows players to save their mission runs for later viewing, which is pretty cool. Also, in that mode, if you have beaten the game uh, and you go into trace mode, you can replay individual missions.
Right.
So that's a handy feature too. Fast and Fun, the game was given the English Translation Plus treatment in May 2023 by Lacquerware and team. Aside from translating text, the game was fully dubbed by a cast of voice actors, and support for the mission stick was programmed in for another layer of control experience. The level of polish on this fan translation simply shines.
Mm.
Thank you for the kind words, Peter. Bob King, under that story, he commented, "Amazing effort. The only game to receive a similar treatment on the PS1 I can think of is Bragandine Grand Edition, which received an English translation plus dubbing." Which Peter gave him a hard time for mentioning the PS1 because Peter has quite the disdain for the PlayStation. But still, thanks for the comment, Bob King. Also, Lacquerware chimed in on Blue Sky in response to that, because of course Lacquerware was our project lead on Stellar Assault and the translator and the voice director. And if you give me a couple of seconds, I can bring that up because I wanted to read what he had to say. He had some nice comments. Um, here we go. Lacquerware, let's see, it was one of the quote posts. So Lacquerware said, "A lot of people who enjoyed our bulk slash project missed this one, but it greatly benefited from all we learned on the former. SASS is, if not the Saturn's best 3D game, certainly its most 3D game. And Silos's mission stick implementation makes it the best mission stick game, in my opinion. Yeah, Silos is the one who figured out how to hack the mission stick to work. So big thanks to him because yeah, this game was begging to have mission stick support. So it is it feels really great with it.
Yeah. And did you get your mission stick working? I thought you were having trouble with yours. Or oh wait, no, you got a replacement, right?
Yeah, I eventually got another one, and I got that one from Chrono Lee, who of course
Right.
hooks you up with all good
Yes.
stuff. So
Yeah.
big thanks to
So
Chrono Lee for that. I'm really glad I have a good working mission stick now.
okay, cool. So the experience with a good working mission stick is really it really helps enhance the game.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, it's still a ton of fun and very controllable with like the 3D control pad, which is
Mhm.
why we were able to get mission stick working at all because they're both analog devices.
Emulate, right? Okay.
Yeah. So it definitely feels great with the 3D control pad. So if you don't have a mission stick, that's okay. I would recommend using the 3D control pad. The D pad's fine, but I mean, when you're flying a ship around,
Harder.
you want to
Yeah.
feel like you're in control of the stick, so the flight stick.
Yeah. Definitely.
Anyway, so yeah, thanks Peter for the shout out on Stellar Assault and highlighting that game. I hope more people play it because it is super cool. It's one of the few space combat sims that we got on the Saturn. It's like, what this and Dark Light Conflict. And a few others that are kind of like behind the back, but they're more like Star Fox like, Star Fox 64. So yeah, Stellar Assault is in a kind of a category almost its own. And they did a really good job with it. Super cool game. We definitely should have gotten in the West in 1998.
Scotty Mo says you should play Vigilant Paradise with your mission stick. It's
I
my
would, but it
preferred
doesn't support it.
way.
You can only
Well,
play a game with the D-pad.
oh, he says, but you may need to switch the stick to the other side, though. He says it's his preferred way to play. I think he's being serious.
You can
So
use
yeah,
the mission stick with Vigilant Paradise. Okay, this is
you
news
might
to
have to
me.
try that. Yeah, put it in. What do you
Yeah.
when he says switch it over to the other side? Oh, okay. Like it has that on the underneath. It has like the where you plug it in. Is he talking
Right,
about
like
that? Or-
you can swap the base from like
Right,
left to
right, right.
right.
Yeah. So okay.
No
No,
sir,
sir.
I've done
I've
it.
done it. Yeah. Use my
And
3D controller with it.
gotta
Gotta
switch to
switch to
D-pad mode.
D-pad
Okay.
mode. Okay. Interesting.
Huh. Neat.
Yeah.
I didn't
Neat.
know that. Thanks,
Okay.
Scotty.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. World exclusive,
Well,
says Martin Evans. That's right.
all right. What's up? What's up next?
Well, it is actually because we are flying. This is our last story of the week. I just posted it today.
Hmm.
Scribbled this up for the website because we had some breaking news this morning. We got a new Mister update, and this was a pretty good one. We haven't talked about the Mister since November, good 4 months ago, and it had gotten updates since then. It got one update in late December, got another update in like early February, but they were both like very small updates. They added some keyboard emulation in February,
Mm-hmm.
which that's a cool little thing. And there was a little bit of a fix for how Shinobi Legion or Shinobi X was working back in December. So like I didn't write about them because they were just so small. But yeah, SRG 320 had been pretty quiet otherwise up until today, and he uploaded a couple of updates for the way the RAM is working and the SH1 processor
Mm-hmm.
with the Saturn Mister Core. And what it does, it doesn't really do much, I guess, for the people using dual RAM on their Mister Core. But people who are still on single RAM, like I am,
Right.
this update makes the 3D fighting games on the Saturn run a lot better.
Hmm.
I don't know if everybody realizes this, but 3D fighters are one of the few weak points of the Mister Core, especially with a single RAM. With dual RAM, the Mister
Right.
Core is great. It runs pretty much every Saturn game flawlessly at this point. It's just fantastic. It's in a fantastic place at this point. But the single RAM just does not quite have enough oomph. So there is a fast timings option that you can set under like graphic settings in the Mister menu when you're playing a Saturn game, and that will basically like overclock it, and that does help a little bit with 3D fighting games, but it still was like a little choppy. It wasn't that perfect. Well, with today's update, um, almost all of those 3D fighting games, apparently, or at least a lot of them, are now running smooth as butter, including Dead or Alive. I wish we could show the video on here because I actually did record a little bit of like off-screen footage because I don't have a capture card. So I just like kind of put my phone on the tripod it's sitting on now, and recorded my TV when I was playing the Mister, and
Mm-hmm.
I show a comparison. Definitely check this out. It is on our website. Check it out for yourself. But it shows where the previous Saturn Core from February, when you would play like arcade mode. I was playing arcade mode with Kasumi, and on the third stage, is the particular little clip that I showed where they're both like spawning in. I think she's fighting against, is it Hayate? Um, I think it's, yeah, Hayabusa. She's playing as
Mm.
Hayabusa, and they both have kind of like swirly, where they're appearing out of thin air
Right.
animations, and like leaves are flying everywhere. So that's like a lot of stuff flying around on screen at once. For
Yeah.
those couple of seconds, and it just like really slows down on the previous single RAM Mister Core, even with fast timings on. Because I recorded with fast timings,
Hmm.
and even after that, when you start like throwing fists and kicks and whatnot, like it still is, you can see it's slow. But when I tried it out with the new core today, it was much faster. It might not be exactly the same as an original game. Like it still felt a little bit of something to me. That might have been some lag,
Hmm.
just input lag. I'm not sure, because I wasn't using an original Saturn controller with my snack adapter. I just like popped my Xbox 360 controller in there, or Xbox One controller, just to
Hmm.
test it real quick. Um, so there might have been a little lag there. Plus, of course, I'm playing on an HDTV with just a regular HDMI cable. Um, but still, like you could tell that it was running a lot better, a lot smoother. So that's really cool to see, because I mean, I love 3D fighting games, and some of my favorite Saturn games, especially Fighting Vipers, are 3D fighting games. And I guess Fighting Vipers is also one of the games that is running better with this. I didn't have time to test that because I just wanted to get my story up for everybody to check out before the show. So I'm gonna have to check that out a little later.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So I know you don't have a Mister, right, Dave? Pat's the other Mister
Has a
Shiro.
Mister. Yeah, yeah. A few folks in our community have one. I
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
have quite a few Mister users. We were all kind of talking about this in the Mister channel on the Shiro Discord server.
Hmm.
So, I'm not the only one with just single RAM. So I'm not the only one who's happy about this. But yeah, it's good to see, because not everybody has single RAM, and with the way things are going, it's going to be more expensive and harder to get RAM, even
Hmm.
if it is kind of like, it's not exactly cutting edge RAM that goes into the DE10
Right.
Nano. Oh, you know what? Almost forgot to mention that when this update initially went up this morning, it actually was not compiling correctly for the, or of compiling is the right word, but it wasn't working for the single RAM uh, Mister. It was giving an error, and the error specifically, the message was, um, Fitter requires 4,202 labs to implement the design, but the device contains only 4,191 labs. In other words, the core is trying to use more resources, like more transistors, than the DE10 Nano actually has. So the core basically had outgrown the device that everyone uses for the Mister FPGA.
Right. Yeah.
And so a frequent collaborator with SRG320, his name is Zet Sensei. He does a lot of testing, and brings a lot. He's sort of like our conduit to SRG, because SRG320 is in Ukraine, and he kind of like keeps to himself. He isn't very like, doesn't make public comments very often, but Zet Sensei talks to him a lot. So he'll often like bring him issues that the community has found. And then he'll let us know if we haven't heard from SRG in a while. He'll let us know he's doing okay. He's all right. Nothing's happened to him. So Zed Sensei saw this, and he actually was able to make some little tweaks and recompile the single RAM. So if you go to like the Unstable Nightly's server on the official Mr. Discord, you're not going to find the single RAM build on there. I think it got pulled because it was not working. So you're going to have to go through the Saturn thread that's on there to find that. I also have a link directly to his post where Zet Sensei posted the new build. I've got that link in my story on our site. So that should make it easier for people. Zet Sensei said the sole change I've done was an arithmetic on the DMAC suggested by Joe Tego on the pending pull request, and compile it with seed 6 instead of 1. I don't know what all that means, but I'm glad it worked. So congrats to Zet Sensei. Thank you very much for all your all your work. Dual RAM is still going to be the best way to play the Mister core, unfortunately, but things are getting better for the single core.
Yeah, for sure. Are you at some point going to buy dual RAM or get another RAM stick?
I've thought about it because it would be nice to just kind of have like a perfectly running core. I just haven't looked into it. I probably
Hmm.
should before it
Yeah, look
becomes
into it. Look
impossible to do.
into it. I mean, I'm sure Pat will cover it. I'm
Yeah,
sure. Like,
I
sure.
like hopefully like my Mr. Pi, it's easy to put in there because I don't just have like a regular Mister that like I put together myself. I've
Hmm.
got one of those Mr. Pies that's been put together for me and comes with a little shell, and already had a couple of additional extras on it. So
Right.
I'm not sure if there's extra stuff I have to do to get a dual RAM on there. If I have to like take something off to fit that on
Yeah, I
there,
don't
because I
know.
know you can only put so many additions on a Mister.
True. True.
So
Then again, I mean, if you had dual RAM, then you couldn't write about interesting stuff like this because you have
right.
the you have the you have that perspective of somebody coming from single RAM.
Yeah, I can show people here's how it's working better in the single RAM. So
Right.
I'm it is kind of an opportunity.
Yep.
Yeah, Bunny said she can try to help me figure it out. She's very technically minded, so I always appreciate her help. Analog Black Sheep said they're testing Grandia on the Mr. Discord right now. Yeah, Grandia still I guess has some like texture flickering issues
Yeah.
with the single
That game
core that
uses.
do not show up on dual core on dual RAM, I mean.
Yeah, I mean that game uses every
Mhm.
bit of power the Saturn has to offer. And
It is a showpiece.
Martin mentions that Neo Geo requires dual RAM, and I mean
Mm.
that might be the second or third best system ever. So I think if you want to play Neo Geo, then there you go.
I don't know that I've actually
Scotty
used
said I
my
don't see a
sorry, go
reason
ahead,
for
dude.
getting a Mister. Well, Scotty said I have a satiator, so I don't see a reason to get a Mister. But I mean, there you
Yeah.
go. Like you get a Mister so that you have all these different arcade machines
Yeah.
and consoles in one box. That
Well,
are
like
that isn't just a RetroPie. That isn't just an Android device. Emulating.
right.
It's actually like emulating the hardware. Yeah.
I've actually used my Mister, not just for playing Saturn, but also the Master System because the
Uh-huh.
Master System
Yeah.
is like the one Sega console I don't have.
You don't have, yeah.
Yeah, so it's pretty, and I don't have one of those. I don't have an EverDrive cartridge for my Genesis. I don't have
Right.
the power, whatever it's called, the thing that you,
The power converter, yeah,
yeah, the
the
power
power base
converter
converter,
you pop out of
yeah,
the top to put Master
yeah. I
System games
have a
on there.
Mega SD, so I play all my.
Okay.
I don't even have a. It's funny. I have like a light phaser, and I have some other. I have some peripherals for strangely enough, that I got in like bundles just for the Master System, but I
Hmm.
don't own the Master System. And
Yeah.
every time I go to like look to maybe get one, I have that nagging feeling like, oh well, then I have to start collecting games, or I have to
Yeah.
get
Right.
or I have to get like a cart, but I already have a cart that basically does that. The Mega
Right.
SD does that, so it's like, okay, well, I would, yeah. So it would just be to have the original hardware, and that
Yeah.
is kind of appealing. So I mean, I may at some point get one, but yeah, power base converter is a good deal too if you get one.
It
Right.
just power based converters usually cost as much as a Master System.
Exactly.
So it's
Exactly.
like,
So you're almost better off just getting the Master System.
right.
And I
Right.
mean,
Yeah.
you know, so.
Sometimes they're scuffed up though, man. There's somebody selling one on Mercari for like 60 or $70, which is like isn't bad, but man, that thing looked
Yeah.
beat to hell. It's
Yeah,
like,
that's
oh,
the thing too. Unless you want to be a hero and try to rescue that thing and do like a refurbishment or something.
right.
It's
No,
usually
Martin Evans, I don't have a Pico. I guess
it's
that's another Sega thing I don't have.
right. Yeah, there's another one to get. I don't have a Pico, but that's something I kind of have an interest in as well. Yeah, trying to find one in good condition. It's like people are like, I know what I have, $400. I'm like,
Right.
no, you don't know what you have. I mean, I get that on OfferUp all the time. It's like people trying to flip a Master System or even a Sega Saturn, and it's just a Sega Saturn and a controller, and they want $400 because they don't
Hmm.
really. They're just like, I heard from somebody that Sega Saturn is worth something, so I'm
Yeah.
just gonna try to. Anyway,
Well, when it never
Scotty
sells for
Mo's
them.
Scotty Mo's message was held for review.
Oh.
Oh man, I've got a Pico. Show. Okay. Another moderator handled that. But still, I just think that's funny. What exactly did YouTube think he meant by "I've got a Pico"? Like that he's just got a small
Yeah, I
equipment?
don't know. It holds weird stuff in chat sometimes. It
Yeah.
really, and some things like you understand, and other things it's like, what's wrong with this?
It's just
Just
like,
put it
wait a
through.
second. Why is my brain not dirty enough to get this?
YouTube just hates picos.
Exactly. Yeah, scalpers. Anyway, so where are we at now? That's great. Awesome. Thank you, Dan, for writing all those stories and giving us stuff to talk about.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to keep everybody informed. So and I of course always like writing about Saturn and finding out new stuff about the Saturn. So it's always fun.
Right.
Yeah, that's all we've got for this week.
That's
Actually,
all we've
we're
got.
all caught up.
Yeah. I don't have my computer is still just stuck in an endless loop. I don't have the Patreon list up,
Yeah,
but
now I have access to it.
thank you to you'd think that I've said it enough now that I could just like
Just memorize
remember
it. I
everything.
know Young Money Squeeze in there, and
Well, it's like Chad Clark,
yeah,
yeah, Paul Bort,
Johannes
Lion Wing
Fetz,
Publishing, Memphis, Johannes Fetz,
Momphis, yeah.
it's A Team, Derek Bascarella, A Team. I'm
Hmm.
gonna forget somebody, and that's the problem.
I know. Yeah,
In
yeah.
there, I think. Yeah. So anyway, you guys know who you are. You're awesome.
Yes,
In
thank you to
fact,
everyone.
just today, I think I spent upwards of $50 shipping stuff out, surprises out, and everything like that. And it's like, that's you guys did that, made it possible for us to ship out prizes. And that was for actually the last. That was for the last community thing. So the next
Yeah.
one's coming up, and we're gonna have more prizes to ship out and stuff. So
Right,
thanks
and
everybody on
that's a
that.
good point. Remember, we've got prizes on the line for all these community challenges. So pop virtual casino in your Saturn, and
Yeah.
give it a little spin, and then hop over into our our Discord's community challenge chat, and just post how you're doing with it. You never know, you might get into it, you might win a prize.
See, Double Dime was playing roulette while he was watching this, so there you go. It's
Good use of time.
it is the kind of game that you kind of can just do it in the background while you're watching something, or
Mhm.
because you're pulling. I mean, some of the games take a little bit more strategy, but some of them you're pulling a slot machine, or
Yeah.
you're just saying hit,
Right.
or like whatever, So anyway, but yeah, give it a shot. It was it was my recommendation. It was my recommendation. I hope it wasn't a dud. I hope people enjoy it for what it is. It's got a little bit of charm. I think the biggest thing is that it's just not a game that people really talk about that much.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of the point of the channel, the community challenge,
Yeah.
right? To play
Yeah.
games
And
people
so
don't
for what it's
play
worth,
much.
for what it's worth, I will say this too. There's another gambling game on the Saturn, which is the one that was released only in Japan, and it was like super. Now I forget what it's called, like
Haunted Casino?
Yeah. No, it was not Haunted Casino. That's kind of
Okay.
like a yellow or red label
Yeah, it's
casino.
etchy.
No, this is just a much more fully featured casino game that
Okay.
retrospectors Dan and Double Dime they did like an online match via that system that Double Dime.
Parsec?
Parsec, that's what it was. Yeah, they did it via Parsec. They both seem to agree that pound for pound it's the better casino game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but it's much more just like bare bones in terms of. I mean, it's just like straightforward in terms of presentation. Like it doesn't have all the extra like charm and like the
Mhm.
bunny girls and stuff like that, and the music.
Yeah.
I would definitely argue like the music in this game is way better,
Mm.
And so Natsume does they make some serious fun games, haha, fun. But yeah, so like I think that like all in all, like for an interesting game to play, Virtual Casino kind of comes out on top. But yeah, in terms of just like features, folks should definitely check out that other game as well, because if you like gambling or you want like a clubhouse style game,
Jeez. Everybody's comments are getting held for a review talking about this.
well, Martin did say hentai.
I know. Well, I don't know what was wrong with what Cerulean said. He said lax
Black
bunnies out
Bunny.
of 10. And that got held. I don't know why. I cleared it
it's
though.
funny because Yeah, you know what? Maybe that was a setting in there that I had to disable, like don't hold comments for review. That's
Hmm.
funny because I know that on the PC side it's already handled, but yeah. So anyway, that's really funny. Anyway,
Well, thank you to everybody for watching and bearing with us with our many technical difficulties. Is Pat back next week? Is he only in Japan for like a week? Like not even a week?
yeah, he was out. He was out last week, and he was to be out this week, but I
Yeah.
believe he's in next week.
Okay.
And then I should be here. I mean, well, I don't know how I'll join. We'll see if I can get my computer back working. But I should be able to join you guys on Friday, but I will not be here the following Friday because I will be in Boston on the East Coast. So lots of stuff going on.
And I'm just always here every week. Hell or high water.
Dan, where did you get that shirt? Did you get that on the Sega official store, like or
Yeah.
Amazon?
Yeah,
Yeah,
this was off of Sega's Amazon shop. I
got
don't
it.
think they
Yeah,
sell it anymore, but this
okay.
was like the one of the first Saturn
One of
things
the
that
first
they
ones.
put on there like a year ago.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So unfortunately, you can't get it one anymore. But they do have some different Saturn shirts now on their Amazon store, which is pretty cool. They're like still putting Saturn ones up.
Another shout out would go to real quick would go to Saturn Memories, who again, like I mentioned last week, has put together a really killer archive of resources. I did
Okay.
some shuffling around with the website. Everything was everything that the community does was kind of like under the resources tab, but I
Right.
changed it. I changed it so that now there's an archive tab. Okay.
Yep.
So you've got like Saturn Memories archives, and then you got like the related Saturn games archive, and then you've also got Saturn and film and TV because those are kind of all like serve that same purpose of kind of like archiving. And
Yeah.
then we've got resources like our site for the how to get online, how to all that other stuff, game translations, a bunch of stuff like that. So now on our website there is an archive tab and there's a resources tab. The archive is just huge dump of amazing information that would take folks forever to get through. But I mean, if you're interested in Saturn and you want to like just explore what the Internet Archive has to offer in an easy way without having to do like Saturn Memories has done all the work for you over the past years. He's dug up every site imaginable, and so old forum posts, all bunch of cool stuff. So shouts to Saturn Memories, shouts to Private Eye, shouts to all of our community members that help support the resources and the cool stuff. I know Super Raimi does the Shiro website that you can get on your Netlink. So that's cool. I don't know if we're missing anybody else, but shouts to all of our Patreon supporters and everybody who's a member of the Discord community. We appreciate you guys.
Yeah. I'm sitting here looking at all of the Saturn table games on Sega Retro to
Yeah.
figure out which one you were talking about. I have no idea. I cannot find it.
You can't find the casino game that I was talking about?
No, I mean there's Virtual Casino, there's Haunted Casino. There's the only games with casino in their name.
That's not true. Oh, this one has casino. It's like Super Casino. Is like I think is what it's called.
Super Casino.
Yeah.
All right, let me just try searching for Super
Try
Casino.
searching Super Casino.
Super Casino Special?
That's it. Yeah, that's
That
it.
is a Saturn game. Yeah, they just didn't have it on their page, I guess. All
No
right,
surprise.
there you go.
Yeah.
Super
So
Casino Special came out in
Super
early
Casino
'97.
Special. Yeah, it's a very fully featured casino game with like a lot of extra bells and whistles.
Coconuts,
Nice.
Japan.
Yeah, it is a top-down presentation instead of kind of like a more 3D. So virtual casino is very virtual, right? You're like sitting at the
Hmm.
table. This is more like top-down. You see the pit or you see the table from like above. But
Yeah,
it's a great little casino game as well, and also one that people don't talk about. So
yeah.
so there you go.
I'm sitting here looking at the back of the box. Looks like they've got roulette, slots, baccarat, blackjack, some kind of poker, and let's see, this rate top bet. I don't know what that is. Ret top bet. Ret ito. Ret
I
ito
can't
bet.
What is it? Reto bet?
Reto ito beto. Oh no, there must be some kind of, and
Could it
it's
be
like
roulette? Could it be roulette?
it
And
is
you're
not roulette. It is
oh,
not
okay, all
roulette.
right. Well, right. I
It
don't.
shows a bunch of cards.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know
But
what that one
anyway,
is. I've never heard of it.
it's got a lot of cool stuff. Dan,
Anyway,
I trust those guys. They seem to think that it was the better gambling game. But I think
okay.
that Virtual Casino it's a Western title. It's a game that I think maybe has more charm. I think, or more character at
Yeah.
least.
All right. Well, thanks
All right.
for watching, everybody. Thanks for figuring out some way to get this show off the ground, Dave. Sorry for all
Yeah.
the stress you went through.
Yeah, I'm really sorry to everybody for all the technical difficulties. I wish that didn't go hand in hand with Shiro show, but it seems like it does.
I hope you're able to fix your computer too, because that sounds bad.
Too. Yeah, like right now, like I forced restart, so it was just like looped restarting, right? It went so long that I just kind of like did another forced reboot, right? And then it went back to like the updates. So and then it was like held at 15% for a long time, and then now it's like looping it, restarting again. I have a feeling I'm just gonna have to put like a new install media and just go and just like nuke it. Is what I'm probably gonna have to do.
Yeah, I was saying like you're gonna have to get like a recovery USB stick with Windows on it and plug it in and just boot off of that and use it to restore your Windows, because it sounds like it probably messed up while it was trying to update itself, and something got corrupted that needed to not be corrupted, and now you're just hosed. I'm sorry.
Yep. No, it's okay. Why I'm still on Windows 10 personally.
Yeah, me too.
Oh no. This is Windows 10.
Oh.
This is Windows 10.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's part of the problem. I don't know. Because they want you to update to Windows 11 and I've avoided it.
Well, like you said, it was really hot in your garage, so maybe wait until it's cooled off in the nighttime, middle of the night, sit there and try to fix
maybe.
it.
Who knows? I don't know. I don't know. Why? And Scotty Mo's like, why I'm on a MacBook. Yeah, but with that, then it's like they're constantly forcing you to upgrade to the new OS and then constantly like borking your performance. So I don't know. But like honestly, I think Linux seems like the most appealing option. But there's never been a distro that I felt like was as polished or like I've tried several different distros and it's always felt like something's lacking. I don't know.
All right.
Anyway, all right. Well, we don't have any credits, so just imagine that this is your name rolling down the screen.
Yeah.
And until next time, this has been Saturn Dave and Danthrax reminding you to go play your Sega Saturn, go play some Virtual Casino, join our Shiro Discord. Yeah, and until next time, you must play your Sega Saturn. We'll catch you later. Bye-bye. How do we do this? How do we end this?
I don't know. It's up to you.
All right, here we go. Ending now.